time, too. Sunday nights were full-on, family-style dinners with all the fixins. Those meals were like a traditional Christmas dinner at my mama's house every week, with most of my favorite foods being served. Collard greens, creamy mashed potatoes, pork chops with heavy gravy, macaroni and cheese, fried chicken with biscuits, and more. Just talking about those meals takes me back to the days of mindless eating without a care. And when it came to dessert, Mama made the best peanut butter cookies and pound cake on the planet. Everyone loved her pound cake. It tasted like she used at least 2 pounds of butter. For that reason alone, we should have called it 2-pound cake. All that butter made it taste so much better. One thing is for sure, we ate very well 7 days a week. It wasn't just at my mama's house that we ate this way. It was at Grandma's house and our aunt's houses too. I always ate my fill, but I hardly ever finished all of the food I piled on my plate back then. My brother didn't mind though, because he got to eat all of my leftovers. When we weren't eating those delicious meals, my granddaddy used to spoil us with goodies from the gas station where he worked. He frequently brought home chips, candy, and other special treats. On payday, he gave each of us some money to walk to the store and pick out all the junk food we wanted. We loved when Granddaddy got paid because Mama only gave us a quarter when we wanted to buy something special. If I asked for 50 cents, it was as if I was trying to rob a bank. Mama, it's only 50 cents, I'd plead. Jenny, money doesn't grow on trees, and then she'd send me off to ask my granddaddy for the money. Now he'd give us $3 each. It felt like I could buy up the whole store with that money. I've always had more of a taste for salty treats than sugary ones, so as a kid I preferred eating pickles and potato chips over candy and cakes. The saltier, the better for me. As I got older, all of those big meals and all that junk food began to catch up with me. I went from being a skinny chicken to a round and robust young woman. I wasn't fat, but people were no longer seeing my ribs. I was starting to look like the rest of my family. As I gradually gained weight, I started to develop my own way of dressing. I like to call it freestyle. I chose clothes I liked, not things that were trendy or name brands, which is what my brother and sister always went for. I chose to accentuate my curves or to just show my personal flair. Some might have thought my outfits were a little weird, but I like to think of them as unique. I didn't care what size I wore, I just wore what I liked. One of my favorite outfits included a pair of overalls, which I wore to high school at least once a week. I was establishing a personal style and flair in lots of different ways, something my mama started to notice. For example, I've always signed my name with great flourish. Even as a child, I made big swoops and grand letters. Jenny, you have an artistic signature. I think you can draw, my mother said with great enthusiasm. Whatever, I said. At the time, I had no interest in drawing, but then one day, I gave it a try and have not put my pencil down since. My whole bedroom was covered in my sketches. I have an uncanny ability to draw whatever I see. I always tell people that I got my grandma's voice and my mother's artistic talent. Then my mother came to me and said, Jenny, you're such a prankster, I think you might be able to act. I really believe you'll be an actress someday. It's true that as a kid, I was a real practical joker. I loved and still love to play tricks on my family and did so whenever I had the chance. Whatever, I said. Do you see a pattern? My usual response of whatever turned out to be quite appropriate because whatever my mama spoke of inevitably came true. My family always says my voice is a gift, a precious jewel I inherited from my maternal grandmother. My grandma's name was Julia Kate Hudson. My sister and I used to joke that the Kates in our family got all the talent. My middle name is Kate, and one of the names in my family is Jenny Kate, which I call myself when I'm just being me, hanging out, and doing ordinary things. People often spoke about how beautifully my grandmother could sing.